Narado Vacham Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvajam Tadvijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam Narado Vacham Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvajam Tadvijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Please repeat. Narado Vacham Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvajam Vijani Yajnanam Tattva Nidarshanam. Narado Vacham Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tadvijani Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Narado Vacha Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvajam Tadvijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Narado Vacha Just pull it down below. Bhuta Bhavana Purvajam Tadvijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Narada Vacham Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Yatvijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Mataji's, please. Narada Vacham Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvajam Tadvijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Trace. Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvajam maybe here. Narada Vacham Deva Namastestu. Oh, you could even move this side. This is good. Purvajam Tadvijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Narada Vacham Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tadvijanihi Yajnanam. Vacha Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvajam Tadvijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Narada Vacha Sri Narada said, Deva of all demigods, Devam the demigod, Namaha obeisances, Te unto you as, Astu are, Bhuta Bhavanam the generator of all living beings, Purvajam the firstborn, tad vijanihi. Please explain that knowledge. Yat jnanam, which knowledge? Atma tattva, transcendental. Nidarshanam, specifically directs. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Sri Narada Muni asked Brahmaji, O chief amongst the demigods, O firstborn living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the supersoul. Purport: the perfection of the parampara system or the path of disciplic succession is further confirmed. In the previous chapter, it has been established that Brahmaji, the firstborn living entity, received knowledge directly from the Supreme Lord, and the same knowledge was imparted to Narada, the next disciple. Narada asked to receive the knowledge, and Brahmaji imparted it upon being asked. Therefore, asking for transcendental knowledge from the right person and receiving it properly is a regulation of the disciplic succession. This process is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 4.2. The inquisitive student must approach a qualified spiritual master and receive transcendental knowledge by surrender, submissive inquiries, and service. Knowledge received by submissive inquiries and service is more effective than knowledge received in exchange for money. A spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from Brahma and Narada has no demand for dollars and cents. A bona fide student has to satisfy him by sincere service to obtain knowledge of the relation and the nature of the individual soul and the supersoul. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utafpada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminati Namine Guru Vadana Vidho Nisyandita Desha Vrindamrita Nibrita Sarit Samplavita Shesha Desha Harirati Phaladana Svadanananda Dhama Bhuvijayati Vikaso Bhakti Purvo Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Vagisha Yasya Vadane Lakshmi Yasya Chivakshisi Yasyaste Hridaye Samvit Tamra Simhamaham Bhaje Prahalada Hridaya Hladam Bhakta Vidya Vidaranam Sharadinduruchim Vande Parindra Vadanam Harim Mukam Karti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 5, Text number 1. And the first word, again, the title of this chapter is called The Cause of All Causes. And the first verse that in this chapter is speaking about the importance of the principle of disciplic succession. Didn't we just read about it? Yes. Should we keep reading about it? Yes, because that is our link to Krishna. That's our link to Krishna. You know, and when we understand that this Guru Parampara is our link to Krishna, then we will do everything in our power to take the, excuse me, I'm just going to write this down, okay. To take proper guidance and to take great caution to somehow or the other receive the most transcendental knowledge. You know, Chaitanya Chaitamrita says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Peach. That the living entity is wandering from universe to universe, from one universe to another. So how many universes are there? How many universes are there? Unlimited amount of universes are there. The living entities are wandering from one universe to another constantly. They're constantly wandering from one universe to another, trying to be the enjoyer, trying to enjoy different combinations, permutations, and combinations of the three modes of material nature. Purusha prakriti sohi bhunkter prakriti jan gunan karanam guna sangasya sadasad yoni janmashu. The Bhagavad Gita says that that the living entity is wandering from one place to another, experiencing different kinds of enjoyments, sometimes being the Purusha, sometimes being the Prakriti, sometimes trying to enjoy, and therefore is always awarded a different yoni, a different womb to take birth in. So, the living entity is wandering from one universe to another, trying to gratify his senses, looking for sense gratification here, looking for sense gratification there, looking for sense gratification everywhere that the living entity goes. But the living entity forgets Krishna. And because of forgetting Krishna, the living entity suffers in this material world. What is that? Krishna bhuli se jivanadir bahir mukha nikatasa mayatari deha samsara dukha. That, Krishna bhuli se ji bhogavan chakare nikatasa mayatari jhapati adhare. That the living entity is, forgetting Krishna, he tries to enjoy this material world. He tries to enjoy this material world. Now, if we say he tries to enjoy this material world and he gets slapped by Maya, the feminists will have no problem with that. But if we said it was something else, why not he and she? This he, no problem. Anyway, side point. But the living entity goes from one place to another and he gets smacked around by the by the material nature. He gets slapped here and there, always slapped, boom, boom, here and there. He always gets slapped. Why? Because of his sinful desire to enjoy this material world. So, because the living entity's sinful desire to enjoy this material world, he keeps getting slapped. But while he is wandering, being kicked around by Maya here and there, somehow if his good fortune arises, then at that point of time, Krishna showers his causeless mercy upon that living entity. Bhagyavan Jeev. So when Krishna showers his causeless mercy upon the living entity, then at that point of time, he gets a bona fide spiritual master. And what does a bona fide spiritual master do? The bona fide spiritual master gives the living entity Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache, ami tu kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, dahi tava pache pache. Oh great venerable Vaishnav, oh hey Vaishnav Thakur, Krishna se tomar, Krishna is yours. Krishna is yours. Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro. You could give Krishna to me. Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro. Tomara shakati ache. Such is your power. So what does the living entity do? Ami tu kanga, Krishna Krishna boli, dhaitava pache pache. That we are simply running behind the spiritual master, crying out for Krishna. That's why Prabhupada says that this Krishna consciousness movement is a pushing movement. It's a pushing movement. That Prabhupada said that, his Guru Maharaj, his spiritual master, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, pushed Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is pushing Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada is also similarly pushing his disciples. And the duty of his disciples is to similarly push their disciples. So ours is a pushing movement. And also we always see that the spiritual master asks us to perform activities which we think are actually kind of beyond our limit, beyond our reach to perform. They're beyond our reach to perform. But the spiritual master's duty is to push us in that regard because he pushes us beyond the limitations of our material mind and all these things. Spiritual master, gives us these kind of instructions. Why does he give us these kind of instructions? Because he is confident that if we surrender to performing these different instructions, then at that point of time, we will understand that we are not the doers. We surrender to Krishna, and we surrender to Krishna, and we get in touch with Krishna's internal potency. Krishna's internal potency, the Hadini Shakti, is unlimited. It may be, the spiritual master may tell you, go to this spot and distribute books. You may only have such 1.5 hours left, and you may be doing very bad on books. But if that faith is there, oh yes, okay, my spiritual master told me, or like whatever, but the representative of my spiritual master told me, whatever, that I must go and perform this activity, then If that faith is there, then even if the spot is bad, still, magically, Krishna may perform so many miracles that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the books just start to fly out over. And Harinamananda Prabhu speaks about this. That you know, the day that he broke the record, does anyone know where Harinamananda Prabhu like made the world record? I mean, of that time, I guess in 1997. No, what? No, Texas, not Texas. Anyone know? You're not going to get chastised for not knowing this, okay? So if you don't know, you don't know. Yeah. I mean, Texas is a little ridiculous. And that wasn't a chastisement anyway. So, it was, in Zurich, as far as I know, even if it's the exact country's location may not be proper, but it was in a random post office somewhere, you know. It was just outside a post office, where, and like, he was already beating the amount of books that he had done last year, and he was averaging about 600 to 637 books every day. But then all the Vaishnavas were like, Harinamananda, you should do this. And he was like, he would always serve the devotees and all these things. I thought, okay, for my Guru Maharaj and these people, devotees, I'm going to try. And he went to the same spot he had gone the other day, and he thought that spot was completely burnt out, But then that day, so many people came, and they came up to him and they asked him, do you have the Vedas? Like, imagine a random white guy walking up to you like, bro, like, do you have the Vedas? Can I take like 2 sets of Bhagavatams from you? And like, there were people like this coming to him all the time. The whole day, there were people just coming, and he was wondering what's going on, But that's a power of having faith in the instructions of the spiritual master. Go and do it, it'll happen, Prabhupada says, oh, what did I was so, compared to this is Prabhupada's humility, of course, but Prabhupada says, compared to all my God brother, I didn't have so much learning. I didn't have so much, I wasn't such a great scholar. They were so renounced. They were doing all these things. I was just what they would call a pacha grihastha, Pacha grihastha means what? Rotten grihastha, Anyway, rotten grihastha means your bead bag is rotten. Anyway, chant a few rounds. Keep the bead bag warm, That was the brahmachari's outlook towards the grihasthas, which I guess it goes on, in parampara sometimes, like that. But, he would say, after all, I was just a grihastha, I was not able to do all these activities. But how is it, Prabhupada says, out of his great humility, Prabhupada says, talking about himself, how is it that such a great fool like me was able to achieve such a tremendous thing? Oh, it's only because my spiritual master was so kind upon me. It's only because my Guru Maharaj was so kind upon me. And it's because I had the faith in the words of my spiritual master. I had that amount of faith which no one else had. Therefore, I was successful. So, bottom line, it really comes down to having the faith in the bona fide spiritual master. 1 minute. So we can see that even over here in this purport, the perfection of the parampara system or the path of disciplic succession is further confirmed. It's further confirmed that every moment of our life, what should actually happen is the perfection of the Guru Parampara, the perfection of the Parampara system should be confirmed even more every day of our life. Every day that we go out, every day that we go out on books, every day that we perform our services, every day we should be even more convinced of the perfection of the system of the Guru Parampara. Every day. That's a big statement. It seems like some statement we can just read over. Prabhupada saying, the perfection of the parampara system or the path of disciplic succession is further confirmed. That every moment, your shraddha, your faith in the Guru Parampara should increase every moment. Every moment, every moment. Every activity that we do, every beat that you chant on, every mantra that you say, every morsel of prasadam that you take. Even when you take rest. Why do we take rest? Why do we take rest? For what? Exactly, to be able to wake up the next day and serve the spiritual master the next day. That should be the reason why we're taking rest. Why are we eating? Why are we honoring prasadam? To fuel this machine. Why? Because Dika Kale Bhakta Kahe Atma Samarpan. That when a disciple takes initiation from the bona fide spiritual master, at that point of time he does Atma Samarpan. He gives his entire body, mind, words, and this soul, his very self. He gives as, he offers that, he makes it as an offering unto the bona fide spiritual master. So from that point of initiation, a disciple has no choice but to listen to the orders of the bona fide spiritual master. Our whole life is simply meant to worship the bona fide spiritual master. That's the whole goal of our life. Especially, for grihasthas, they may have so many other duties, this duty, that duty, that duty, this duty, and it's completely bona fide according to Shastra, and they should do it. But the brahmachari only has one service, or the renunciates only have one service. What is that one service? Acharya Upasana, worship of the previous acharyas, worship of the acharya. That is the only duty of the renunciates. That's the only duty. Does this mean that, Prabhu, once I get married, I don't need to worship the acharya? Not only do you need to worship the acharya, you need to be doing a lot more too. And try to keep the first things first, keep the priority right, of going back home, back to Godhead. But, this whole body, like sometimes in South India, when the son is acting up, the mother tells the son, put down your wood. Put down your wood. Control your wood. Put it down. Why does the mother tell the son that? She tells the son that because at the time of death, your body is going to be burnt and your body is no better than wood. So don't act up. Don't act up. Your body is no better than a log of wood lying on the street if you don't utilize it for serving God, serving Krishna. The mother tells the son that. How many of our parents told us that? No one. Why? Because we're misled. Why? Because there's a lack of parampara system. Everything that we learn in Vedic culture comes through parampara. It's not like I go to YouTube, now I'll have an AI tell me everything. Why? What need is there for Guru? What need is there for God? AI is God. I am God. Like this. This thing, you just, whoa, things are going crazy out here in this material world right now. But, everything comes in this perfect Guru Parampara system. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told us, Parampara jano bhalo mate. Do not be shy in understanding the Guru Parampara. Do not be shy. Do not be shy. Do not be shy in discussing and seeing whether a person is bona fide or not, even if they have a sannyas danda. Even if they are wearing saffron cloth. Even if they have thousands of disciples. Even if they are speaking things which just make you feel so good. Do not be shy in understanding the parampara. Do not be shy in understanding the Siddhanta. Siddhanta alasajan ananta tu chadina. Jadi Krishna brahmi kare Krishna seva karina. That a person who is lazy in understanding the Siddhanta alasajan ananta tu chadina, that person will never ever give up their anarthas. And not only that, if they consider the service of Krishna or Krishna himself to be material, they will never perform devotional service at all. So, what is our check and balance system to know whether a person is bona fide or not? What is the check and balance system? Yes, that's right. If they're following Guru Sadhu and Shastra. Also, one more thing. That's already there. One more thing. Guru Sadhu Shastra, you check if they're following. There's another thing too. Yes, all this is there. There's one more thing. Said it before in class many times. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj also said it sitting on this Vyasasan right here. With saffron cloth on the Vyasasan. Anyone remember? Aitihya, right? Aitihya. To see how the predecessors behaved, to see tradition, understand the tradition. For example, in Shastra it says, do not show your back to the deities. When you're just, don't walk away turning your back to the deities. But where in Shastra does it write how you should actually how you should actually leave the temple room. How should you actually do it? So then, we see the predecessors. We see how did they do it. All the problems that we face in executing the Shastra, we should understand we're not the first people facing these problems. There's a verse in the Bhagavatam which says this about Aitihya, Guru Sadhu Shastra. Aitihya, I could pull it up if needed, but Aitihya, you can even look it up on Veda base. We can find that. But Aitihya is very important. Because how do you leave the temple room? How do you leave the temple room? The way you leave the temple room is, one thing you could do is you could walk backwards without showing your back to Krishna. Or you could walk all the way to the corner of the temple room and walk down. But what about, Prabhu, when we have to take the lamp around? That time, don't we have to show our back to Krishna? Yeah. But that's how the previous acharyas taught us how to do it. So we understand Shastra by following the previous acharya, and this Aitihya, and how the sadhu behaves. Yeah, you almost got it right, the behavior. But the behavior according to tradition, Avadut. You were saying behavior. So behavior according to tradition. We see how the previous acharyas acted. We see how the previous acharyas behaved. And depending upon how the previous acharyas behaved, then we can actually understand what to do and what not to do. That's why Krishnadas Kaviraj says, this is really important. Dharma stapana hetu sadhura vyavahara. That dharma is established based upon the vyavahara of a sadhu. What does vyavahara mean? You just said it. With the B, the behavior of the sadhu. Dharma stapana hetu sadhura vyavahara. How the sadhus behave establishes the way dharma is followed in a society. What does Yudhishthira Maharaj say? Tarko pratishta shutayor vibhinnam nasa rishir yasya matam na bhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajano yena gatas sapantaha. That so many people may have so many opinions about what is dharma and what is not dharma. So many people may have all these kind. Can you please close the door, because I don't like hearing myself. So, so many people, they may have so many different opinions about what is dharma, all these kinds of things. What is dharma, what to do, what not to do, all these kinds of things. But the Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj says, dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya. That the secrets of dharma, the truth about dharma, where are they hidden? Mahajano yena gatasapanta. They're hidden within the hearts of the great Mahajans, and therefore we follow in their footsteps. So this is a way and method for a proper check and balances. And there is another way where we can do check and balances. Does anyone want to guess what that is? These are 3 S's. I was listening to this in a lecture by Shamsundar Prabhu, who is my Shiksha Guru. 3 S's. Anyone? Okay. The 3 S's are Shastra, Sampradaya, and Shastra, Sampradaya, and not Sadhu. I was thinking Sadhu. Shastra, Sampradaya, and I'm forgetting the other one. Shastra, Sampradaya. Anyway, it'll come to me soon. But Shastra, Sampradaya, and probably it's Sadhu. Shastra, Sampradaya, and Sadhu. We can actually see. So Shastra, Sampradaya, and Siddhanta. Shastra, Sampradaya, and Siddhanta. These are 3 S's, three ways you can also see if a person is bona fide or not. That, let's just say a person is coming and claiming, like, especially in India, if you see like this, the sadhu under the bush, there's a guru under the bush, guru under the tree, guru in this corner, guru in that corner. How do you know who is bona fide? Shastra, Siddhanta, and Sampradaya. We have to see if these 3 things are proper. See, because a person may say that, yes, I'm coming in a bona fide disciplic success. Or you know what? A person, it may seem like, wow, yeah, this person is bona fide. It seems like he's following a proper disciplic succession. It seems like this person may have a proper understanding of Siddhanta. But then we see that this person is quoting from a book which is bogus. Let's just say he's quoting from the Gospel of Ramakrishna. You know that this person is bogus. You know that this person needs to be kicked out. You may see, like, many times we go to these bogus Hindu temples where, the pujari, has like a beautiful Vadagalai tilak, of the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. He has a beautiful Vadagalai tilak. he recites all the shlokas and and he says, Ramanujan, and I'm like a, disciple of this acharya in Ahobilam or Srirangam or whatever like this, and wow, very nice, very paka, and all these things. But what do they base their pramana on? He bases their pramana on the Satcharita, which is basically a bogus book about Sai Baba. So can we take this person seriously? No. If a person is coming in a bona fide disciplic succession and is following the right spiritual master, and proper disciplic succession, and he's using the proper shastra, like whether he's using the Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, all these things. If a person is following properly, we can say that okay, this person is in this proper disciplic succession or not, and he's a person is a proper disciplic succession, he's following the right shastra. But if their understanding of Siddhanta is messed up, still we don't want to have anything to do with them. For example, there is a person, in America, used to be a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, then went to this bogus Rasika Guru. Went to this bogus Rasika Guru who always speaks about, oh, Radha, and all this drama and all this stuff, like this bogus stuff like this, all this Sahajya stuff, big Sahajya Guru, who basically got in the influence of the bogus Radhakund Babajis, who Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was against. He got it into the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya and contaminated that Sampradaya. He not only contaminated the mutt of his own Guru, he contaminated a huge part of the Krishna consciousness movement also. So much so that as contamination is going on, and as Kali Yuga is going on, the line between reality and illusion has become more blurry. That the Prabhupada said that, you see, if you have doubts about Siddhanta, go to such and such God brother of mine. And if you have doubts only about how to perform certain paddhatis, like certain rituals within the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, you go to this person. Do not go to them for anything else. But when things were not going so good in the Krishna consciousness movement, when things were going bad, then what happened is they jumped from the frying pan into the fire, where not only did they they were facing all this turmoil within the movement, they went and took shelter of a bogus person. And this person is so bogus that he openly blasphemes Srila Prabhupada. He says so many things about Prabhupada, but he also glorifies him, but he also blasphemes him. Basically like how to be the popular guru. What can I do to increase the amount of followers that I have? He disagrees with so many things Prabhupada said in his books. He says all this other stuff. Then he does all this other Sahajya stuff. And, there are accounts of this person being massaged by, what's their name? Yuvati Kumaris, or some kind of, basically young Kumaris who come and do Vaishnav Seva. In Radhakund, where they come and do Vaishnav Seva, where the young Yuva Naris, or I'm forgetting the exact terminology that's used, but this person would it would just be him and these two young girls alone behind closed doors for a long time, and this kind of nonsense would go on. And there've been accounts of women massaging this person and all these things going on. There's accounts of people, of him blaspheming Srila Prabhupada and all these things. But still, the illusory energy and the insincerity of the individuals are so strong, they still go and take shelter of these bogus people. And, this person is so offensive that Prabhupada gave this person a name. And then what this person did was, the name that Prabhupada gave you is not Rasik enough. Let me give you a more Rasik name. Let's just say Prabhupada named this person the name of some person from Ram Leela. Ram Leela is not so Rasik. I'll give you a name from Krishna Leela. So not only did this person change the name of this person, but more or less in a sweet kind of a way removed this person's fidelity to Srila Prabhupada. And now this person, is a big acharya, in America. full on FDG bhav, full on feminism bhav, and then they put on festivals where all these bogus people, they in the name of like, wow, it's bhakti, it's love, it's it's devotion, and they just put on these festivals where they throw colors at each other and pour like water at each other, because the Krishna and the gopis, they played water sports, right? So we also can play water sports like this, boys and girls all mixed up, and young boys and young girls are throwing colors and water and pouring water on each other's clothes. So in the degraded culture known as American culture, this is known as a wet t-shirt competition, right? Something like this. So same thing is going on in the name of bhakti. It's all bhakti, it's all love, it's all bhakti, It's all love, it's all bhakti, it's all feelings, And they have like, this bogus rapping and like a, Sahajya Kirtan and like all this, and it's so horrible. And it's all being blessed by this ex-disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who is under the illusion that them and us are in the same sampradaya. Sometimes when we're distributing books and this person sees like, they say, we are in the same discipline, like the same family as them. No, you're not. Hell no. No way in hell. No way are we part of the same sampradaya. No way. No way. Why? Because one sampradaya is following Srila Prabhupada, and the other sampradaya, in the guise of following Prabhupada, is simply Gaura Viruddha, enemies of Lord Chaitanya. That this kind of nonsense goes on to such a degree that is completely against the injunctions laid down in the Shastra. Shruti Smriti Purana Adi Pancharatra Vidim Vina Ekantaki Harer Bhaktir Utpatya Yaiva Kalpate. That if people are performing activities which are not according to Shruti, Smriti, Purana and Pancharatra, which is not according to Shastra, then at that point of time, we can understand that they are simply creating a disturbance in human society. And we can see, it's all love. Yeah, we also accept him as a great acharya. No, we don't. We call these people out. This is our parampara. That even when this person was widely popular within the Krishna consciousness movement, and my Guru Maharaj was just a brahmachari, right? He was not even a sannyasi. He was just another brahmachari who distributes books. At that point of time, he was calling out and saying, we cannot worship this Prakriti Sahajya on the same level as Srila Prabhupada. We cannot do this. And then he got so much flack from the big leaders of the society. And then after some years, when they realized that, actually this guy is a Sahajya, and we did a mistake. Sorry, March. Sorry for fighting with you. But you see, then also they thought, it's fanatical, this, that. But how much damage was done? How much damage is being done right now? So much damage is being done. There's an entire group of people who are so favorable in a particular place that we went and distributed books to, but they're all falling prey to these Sahajas. What can be done? What can be done is we have to go and squash them out of existence. That's what needs to happen. Take over the spots, just distribute as many books, call them out, preach heavily, strongly about the absolute truth, and distinguish it from illusion. But the time is not right to squash them out yet. Soon, they'll be squashed out of existence. Because you see, upper sampradayas come and go. So many upper sampradayas, even within the Krishna consciousness movement, upper sampradayas are there. But we have to understand that those who are doing Nishidachar, Kutinati, Jiver Himsan, Lava Puja Pratishtha Jata Upashaka Gan, those people who are Nishidachar, not behaving properly, Nishidachar, Kutinati, who are how do you say that word? Duplicitous. Okay. Duplicitous. I'm sorry. Let me try it again. What is it? Duplicitous? You don't know. Okay. So those people, who are infected by duplicity or hypocrisy. Okay. So Nishidachar, Kutinati, Jiver Himsa, and who are preaching the wrong thing and preach against those people who are actually preaching the real thing, they are doing the topmost Jiva Himsa. They're performing the topmost violence against the living entity. Why? Because that after Lava Puja Pratishtha Jata Upashaka Gan, because all these other things are coming in, choking up the Bhakti Lata. And then you can see, oh, that's just for the karmis. We as devotees don't do that. But then you see pictures of devotees also. They're all like, dabbed in colors, probably wet clothes. There's four Matajis and one guy lying down right in the middle like this. Is that bona fide? Is that bona fide? Why is that not bona fide? Why is that not bona fide? Fire and butter, right? Every brahmachari has a sticker on his forehead. What does it say? That's right. We all have a sticker on our forehead which says, keep in cool place. Butter is always meant to be kept in a cool place. If fire and butter come too close, what happens to the butter? It melts. It becomes ghee. We want to be butter, right? So, fire and butter. I'm sorry, the bhav just comes out sometimes. Fire and butter are kept in two separate places. Keep in cool place. But what is this? And these people, they wear saffron too. Haribol, Jai, Mataji, Jai, embracing, oh God, what is this, But they're lying down there, and then there's like the other big rapper, like, yo, but it's really horrible. I heard this stuff, like, come on, compared to like Jay-Z, Kanye, like, what the hell is your thing going to do? Like, how many people are ever going to listen to horrible rap music about Krishna? Like, I mean, maybe there may be like a few people, but how much of a change is that going to make in their life, This guy has a big fat ego. Of course he does, because he's surrounded by Matajis, and I wanted to tell him the main problem with you is that you are surrounded by too many cheerleaders, and therefore you'll never make any progress in your life. But anyway, if he told them that, they won't be able to handle it, because they're womanly also. If you associate too much with women, you also become like a woman, You see, a man who's too much associated with a woman, his intelligence becomes clouded by emotions, and he also gets all emotional and all these things, and he forgets his ration and all these things. He's not so rational. These things are that. That's why every time I talk to this person, also the leader, the acharya of this bogus group, and I tell that person, like, you don't have one good man. You're preaching here you don't have one good man, not even one man, not even one guy who has what it takes to grit and grind it out. Not even one guy. No potency. No potency. Why? Because bad times create good men. Good men create good times. Bad times create strong men. Strong men create good times. And good times create weak men. Therefore is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's great blessing upon us that no matter how much money we make, we will always be in debt. Always. Always make sure that even things like, oh, finally, Prabhuji. The immediate Bhaktisiddhanta, oh, no, again, yet again, really? Please give us a break. You will never get a break. You will never get a break in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Bona fide Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. You will never get a break. Now I have the farm community. Okay, you think what, you're going to eat and sleep all day in the farm community? No. No. I want to be a bona fide grihastha. You think your life is going to be, wow, Jai, Rancho Prabhu, you're a bona fide grihastha. Was your life just peaceful and... No. 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 Never. But those who want to go about, oh, Jai, Haripo, it's all love. Oh, yeah. And like they do all this, I'm like, you remain a hippie your whole life. I'm not doing OD like that. Y'all seen these people. I'm not making this up, right? They're like, Haribo, like, I remember, like, I was telling someone, like, this person was on the fence. They like us, but they also like the Sahajas. And, we're telling the brahmacharis, that, yeah, this person is really Haribol. And they're like, oh, really? What does that mean? What does Haribol mean? I said, Haribol means Haribol, He said, like, is it a good thing or a bad thing? He said, it can be whatever you want it to be, That's why we call them a Haribol. Like, that's... we know what it means, but it can mean anything. Yeah, the person is a Haribol. Like, oh, Haribol. But like, and the thing is, these people don't even say Hare Krishna. They don't even say Haribol. Every time they get to say Radhe, Radhe. Like, Prabhupada specifically told us not to do this. But Radhe, Radhe. Why? Why do you have, why? What need is it? And like all their music is like all like, like, they have, I can't even do it right, but like, it's all about the, like, like, Radhe, Radhe. And like, it's so bogus, it's so bogus, But these kinds of things go on. Why? Because the disciplic succession is broken. Parampara chano bhalomate. This person is bogus. Everything they're following is bogus. That is why, what is the other method of distinguishing reality from illusion or seeing if a person is bona fide or not? What's the other method? Siddhanta Sampradaya and Shastra. So this person, Bhagavatam, Jai Haribol, and then like Sampradaya, oh, I'm a grand disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta, all these things. But what's your Siddhanta? And then to make it worse, they write bogus books and try to distribute them. Their books are so bad that the karmis are like, oh my God, this is really disturbing my mind. Can I just give you the books back? I don't even want my money back. Just keep the books, but please stop distributing this. And even the karmis realize they're bogus. That takes a lot, for karmi to call you bogus. Imagine a karmi comes and tells you you're bogus, bro. That's really bogus, really bogus. At least be a proper karmi or a proper, anyway. That's how the sahajis are. So Sampradaya is there, Shastra is there, but Siddhanta is bogus. Siddhanta is bogus. And because it's bogus, they're like, oh, everything is so amazing, but it's not. Oh, it's so much love and devotion, and they're all they're all all welcoming and all embracing, But then the reality is, initiated devotees there, after so many years, still eat karmic grains. What will happen to their mind? What will it be like? Yes, sir. What's it, by now, y'all should know the verse. Matsya? No one? Abhi knows? What is it? Madhiji, surprise me. Let's hear it. No? Okay. Vishayira anna khaile malin habe man. Malin anna khaile nahi Krishna rasmaran. Whoa. I still got it. Okay. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I should know the verse number by now. But yes, you eat karmic grains. You eat grains cooked by non-devotees whose minds are like stool. Your mind also becomes like stool. These people, God knows if they cut their nails, before cooking. We really, really cannot imagine how unhygienic and how unclean and how horrible karmi food is. We have no conception. But, we're all distributing books in this farmer's market along with the sahajis, and then we're like, oh yeah, it's prasadam time, it's lunchtime, all right, me and Matsya are eating whatever, khichdi or whatever prasadam was there. And these sahajis are going to all the vendors there and buying the food and eating it. I'm so shocked. No one taught you this? The big Acharya Guru Devi that doesn't teach you all these things? But they don't. They don't. Imagine right now, it's like this. Can you imagine how it's going to be 20 years from now? The Lord have mercy. Seriously. But these things go on. Why? Because Bhakti Siddhanta Viruddha Ara Sabha Shinile na hoy Prabhu Chitera Ulas. That a person who does not speak statements according to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, those statements do not please Srila Prabhupada. That's why, Prabhupada is making this point here in this purport, that genuine disciplic succession, genuine guru and disciple relationship is based on tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanena sattvadarshanaha. That tadvidi pranipatena, that the disciple should go and approach the spiritual master, and what should he do? Pranipat. What does this mean? Total prapatti. Giving everything, giving his very life, Atma Samarpana, giving his very life under that spiritual master as an offering. Tadvidi pranipatena, pariprashnena, ask genuine questions. People think, oh, if I come into the disciplic succession, if I become spiritual, then at that point of time I can't ask any questions, I can't think for myself. But no, our Shastra is full of questions and answers. The Bhagavad Gita is full of questions by Arjuna and answers by Krishna. The Bhagavatam is full of questions and answers. So similarly, we should also understand that when we take to Krishna consciousness, there is a way to ask questions. There is a way to get. You want to get started? You can wait till it gets off, I guess. Yeah. It's all full of questions and answers. It's all full of questions and answers. Bhagavatam, all these things. But the Bhagavatam teaches us how to ask these questions. How to not be challenging. The Bhagavatam teaches us this. Because When we learn this, then we'll actually understand Atma Tattva. We'll actually understand all these things. You know, when we learn how to ask proper questions, Sadviti Pranipatena, Pariprashrina Seva, That's why Krishna says, Evam Parampara Prapti Mimam Raja Shreyo Viduhu, Sakali Neha Mahata Yogo Nasha Parantapaha. And then what's the second verse, 4.2? Is it Sa Evayam Maya Tedya Yoga Proktav Puratana? I just quoted that, right? 4.2? Yes, I did. Okay. Evam Parampara Praptam. That we need to know. This is, we learn all these things within Parampara. Parampara jano bhalo mate. That's why there is no higher mantra than the lotus feet of the Guru. There's no higher mantra than the lotus feet of the Guru. There is no higher mantra than the lotus feet of the Guru. Knowledge received by submissive inquiries and service is more effective than knowledge received in exchange for money. A spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from Brahma Narada has no demand for dollars and cents. A bona fide student has to satisfy him by sincere service to obtain knowledge of the relation and nature of the individual soul and the super soul. This is the satisfaction of the spiritual. The secret to success, Prabhupada writes this so many times. If you look up on the way, secret to success or secret of success, every time Prabhupada writes this, at least more, almost like 99% of the time, the secret of success is to please the bona fide spiritual master. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. For a person who pleases the spiritual master, Krishna is also automatically pleased. Why? Because the spiritual master is the ambassador of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna life is supposed to be the embassy of the spiritual world. Let's keep it that way. Spiritual master is supposed to be the ambassador of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Spiritual master, if we displease the spiritual master, then what happens? Nagati kutopi. Destination unknown. We don't know where we're going. Therefore, we should be very cautious. So many people, they're like overtly, they just go and they're disobeying Prabhupada's instructions. What is going to happen to them? What is going to happen to them? Will they be able to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra at the time of death? I know two Prabhupada disciples. One of them almost died, and while his body was completely in like crushed and his pool of blood all around him, somehow he was still holding his beads and he was chanting. On his deathbed almost. He was chanting the holy names of Krishna. He says, I don't care what anyone says. People can call me fanatical, but I'm going to stick to the orders of my spiritual master. If it wasn't for the blessing of my spiritual master, would I have been able to chant these holy names at the time of death? Another Prabhupada disciple. He died and the police had found him on the verge of death and they saw him leave. And they knew that they had to come to the Krishna Conscious Temple. And they asked him, how did you know to come here? Because this person was chanting the holy name at the time of death. Why? Because he had pleased his spiritual master. He had absolutely pleased his spiritual master. Because he had pleased his spiritual master, only then was he allowed to chant the holy name of Krishna at the time of death. If he disobeyed Prabhupada, if he displeased Srila Prabhupada, if we do these things, can we hope to remember the holy name of Krishna at the time of death? Will our Guru be there to remind us to chant the holy name? Will he give us the strength to chant the holy name of Krishna? What happened to Karna? What happened to Karna? Karna was such a great warrior. He was a Kshatriya disciple of Parashuram. Who is Parashuram? He's a Shaktiya Veshavataar. He killed 21 generations of the Kshatriyas on this planet. He killed them. And Karna, pretending to be a Brahmana, went to learn this Dhanurvidya from him. And he was so dear to his spiritual master, Karna. And then Indra takes a shape of a boring worm, which makes the leg bleed. And while Parshuram was lying down, the Guru is lying down on the lap of the disciple, and the disciple is fanning him. Indra enters the foot of Karna, and there's blood. And then, although Karna has so much devotion to his spiritual master, right? He had so much devotion to his spiritual master, although he was bleeding, although he was completely bleeding, he did not want to wake his spiritual master up. Therefore, he tolerated the pain. Kshatriyas can do that. He tolerated the pain. And then when Parshuram woke up and he saw the blood, he realized that, you rascal, you're not a Brahmana. You're a Kshatriya. You came and you cheated me. You came and you cheated me. Therefore, when you need to remember the mantras for the greatest weapons which I've taught you the most, you will not be able to. You will forget them. Why? Because he lied to the spiritual master. Why? Because his entire relationship with the spiritual master was based on a lie. It's based on a complete lie. Everything about it was a lie. And therefore, at the time of death, when he was fighting with Arjuna, he knew that if he released a Bhargava weapon, he could kill Arjuna, right? If he released, he could kill Arjuna. But he couldn't remember it because he didn't have the mercy of his spiritual master. Do we think that if we disobey the orders of Prabhupada, we will have the mercy of Prabhupada at the time of death? Do we think this is going to happen? Don't be so foolish. Don't be so foolish. Bahujanma kariyo di Shravan Kirtan, tabutana pai Krishna pade premadan. We can chant the holy names of Krishna for many millions of births. For many millions of births, we can chant the holy names of Krishna. But if we are not, or if we are committing offenses against the holy name, which is Guru Ravagya, one of them being the greatest thing. What does Guru Ravagya mean? Disobey the order of the spiritual master, or to consider him an ordinary person. That's right. Disobey the orders of Prabhupada. What's going to happen to us? Will we be able to chant the holy name? We can try to chant for many. Will we be able to chant the holy name at the time of death? No. No. But if we satisfy the spiritual master, yes. By giving our life to this book distribution movement. Don't be mentor. Distribute Prabhupada's books. Don't try to come and convince me, Prabhu, we went out and did only like 6 bhakti stacks, but we did more than what we did. You used to do 40 bhakti stacks every day. Don't give me this stuff. I'm not going to take this. This is your being mentor. You're not surrendering enough. Go and do it. Get out there and do it. I'm not going to take this. This is not an answer that is satisfying at all. We have to surrender to the order of the spiritual master. Yasya devi para bhaktir, yata devi tata guru, tasyaite katita hyata prakashante mahatmanaha. For a person who has unflinching faith in Guru and Krishna, all the imports of Shastra are revealed to them. There's a story from Shastra. A guru had 3 disciples. He told one disciple, I think there's going to be there's some part of this creek or something, this dam is going to leak. Can you go and fix it? So the disciple goes, and that time he sees that the whole thing, he goes and he tries to fix it. And the next day, the guru is sitting in class and he asks, where's this other disciple? He said, oh, Guru Maharaj, he didn't come back yet. Oh my God, really? Let's go find him. They go and they find him, and this disciple is there, completely covered in a pool of water, and he's using his body to stop this dam from cracking and flooding his guru's ashram. The guru is so pleased. Because you gave your life to please me like this and serve me like this, go back to your home. All the imports of the scriptures will be revealed to you. There's another disciple. He was there. And, he was a little fat. So Guru asked him, why are you so fat? Like, I know how much you eat. So then he said, when I'm done begging alms for you, then I go back and beg alms again and eat again. He says, you can't do that, you nonsense. And he said, okay, Guru Maharaj, sorry, I didn't know. Then still he's seeing this guy is fat. Like, why are you still so fat? Like, yeah, while I'm milking the cows, sometimes I also drink the milk from the others. He's like, you can't do that. Those are my cows. And then again, he asks, the disciple asks, the guru asks him, you're still fat. Yeah, when the calves are done drinking milk, I'm taking the foam from their lips and drinking it. You can't do that. The calves are feeling bad for you, therefore they're giving you a little bit of the milk. You can't do that. He says, okay. Then one day the guru didn't call him, for prasadam, and he was feeling very hungry. So he started eating the leaves of this tree, which has some poisonous effect. And he ate so many of these leaves that he became blind. Next day, Guru is sitting in class. Where's his disciple? Where did he go? He said, Guru Maharaj, I don't know. He was in the forest and we didn't see. So then let's go find him. They go and find him. And he tells the Guru Maharaj, I'm sorry, I've become blind, because you didn't call me to eat prasadam. I was so hungry and I just ate some leaves in order for me to be satisfied and, not do all this. So he became blind. So then he said, okay, I'll give you a mantra. You chant this mantra and you can invoke the Ashwini Kumaras to come. Invoke the Ashwini Kumaras. They are physicians of the demigods. So he chants this mantra, the Ashwini Kumaras come and they tell him, you please eat this cake. This cake that we are giving you. Eat this cake and your blindness will be cured. So then the disciple tells him, no, I can't eat. My Guru Maharaj asked me to not eat unless like, he asked me to eat. So you please go give the cake to my spiritual master. And only if he asks me to eat, I will eat it. And then they say, no, no, it's fine. If we are demigods, we're telling you, no, no, no. I can't do it. I can't do it. And he does not accept it. And then when the Guru finds out, he gives the disciple the cake, and then the Guru finds out that you would much rather prefer being blind than disobeying me, go back to your home. You please me so much that all the imports of the Shastra will be revealed to you. Yasya deve para bhaktir, yata deve tata guru, tasyaite katita hyata prakashante mahatmanaha. Even if the spot is dead, if you have that faith, if you have that vision, Krishna will send you people to buy books from you. So, nothing but full surrender is the price to pay to go back home, back to Godhead. We can come up with millions of excuses, so many excuses. How many excuses I can come up with? I'm Indian from India. These people are Americans. They don't want to buy books from me. How can I learn their culture and do it? I can also say so many things. I can say. Yeah, oh, Prabhuji, yeah, I didn't sleep enough. Anyway, I can just take whatever break I want. Everyone can make an excuse. How many excuses we want to make, we can make. But excuses don't make success. Hard work and discipline make success. So please, get off the mental platform and get going, because you've done it before. We're not asking you to do something you've never done before. Do it again. Get our act together. Let's bring back the glory days. We have to go and distribute as many books as possible. That is the order of the spiritual master, right? Isn't that the order of the spiritual master? May devotees at Christian Life Atlanta continue to distribute thousands of Srila Prabhupada's books for his divine pleasure. That's the order, right? So let's follow the order. Let's put our money where our mouth is and try to distribute thousands of books. Then we can hope to someday gain the mercy of Krishna. But by making excuses for not surrendering, none of this will work. So I'll end the class here, and I only have literally 8 minutes, and after that, I am going to be on my way to distribute thousands of books to North Carolina, and I request everyone's blessings that this mission please be successful. Thank you, Tyrese. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. As my mothers, y'all can bless me too. Don't be shy. Come on by. Thank you. So, yes. So, now if there's any questions, comments, protests. Ranjit Prabhu, do you have anything? Okay, yes. Rishabha Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for pushing us out of the mental platform, which is actually causing us not to go beyond, not to go actually to level of bhakti. So is this what actually the pushing is? This pushing is not to kind of break us, not to break our body. It's actually just to take us out of these limitations we are putting to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, this pushing, the pushing of the spiritual mass is good for our body and our mind and our soul. And us, the soul. So it's good. Yeah, the spiritual master helps us get off the mental platform and helps us get in touch with the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. So that's, yes, that pushing is there. Therefore, we need to take guidance from proper authorities also, who are like not crazy. That like who make sure that we're balanced. We're not overeating or not oversleeping or sleeping too little or sleeping too less or eating too little. Stuff like that. Like Prabhupada said, it requires intelligence, and Prabhupada says it takes some common sense. He said, if you don't have common sense, go find someone who does. So that's a short answer. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Because I guess that in the
I want to turn it
in the beginning, in this mature,
No, go ahead, Prabhu. Yeah.
In this unmature beginning, after Srila Prabhupada left, I kind of understood that there are many misunderstandings of what means pushing. It was actually breaking people.
Yeah.
And not even helping them to go out of platform mental. It was actually more mental.
Yeah. yeah.
I think.
So it's like, like Prabhu says, right? I would do it like, it's like walking on a tightrope. It's like walking on a tightrope, and you need to be able to balance it properly. Sadhana, seva, rest, all these things. What are you saying? Huh? Sure. Whatever that is. Anything else? Yes. Isaac. Okay, Isaac.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
When we talk about worshiping spiritual master, it refers only to Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru or all of them.
Vande Gurun Isha Bhakta, like the spiritual masters. But the Diksha Guru is, especially like very, very important. Like nowadays it's a thing to undermine the Diksha Guru, but no, our entire life revolves around that also, around him. So not just him, but also the Shiksha Gurus too. But our sole focus should be the Diksha. Because traditionally Diksha Guru gives Shiksha also. So. But unless it's like you just meet your guru once in like 50 years and then that's it, then like of course the person who's guiding you the most. You know?
For instance, when in the morning when we are chanting glorification to the spiritual master, sometimes we like to focus on Srila Prabhupada specifically.
So that's the thing. That's
Or
actually a
Diksha
Ritvik
Guru.
tendency to do that because these prayers are meant to glorify your own spiritual master. Yes, you can focus on Prabhupada, too, but these prayers are meant to glorify your own spiritual. You can meditate. It's not a sin to meditate on your own spiritual masters. You're actually supposed to develop a personal relationship with the spiritual master who's a disciple or a grand disciple or whatever, or Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, that's why we have Sri Guru Vandana. We were solely meditating upon Srila Prabhupada. The Guru Vashtakam is meant to meditate upon the immediate spiritual master. So you should be careful to avoid Ritvik tendencies. Is that okay?
Yes.
We have 3 minutes. Yes, Mataji. Mataji's.
So like some people may argue that these bogus people, hosting these really big kirtan things, at least they're getting thousands of people to chant Hare Krishna, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like
So then you tell them, Avaishnava Mukod Girdham, Sarpo Jishtam Katamritam, Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam. I'm forgetting the last line. But tell them that the milk touched by a lip of a serpent is not really milk. Therefore, going and listening to kirtans of people who are not strictly following is worse and actually, is worse. It's really bad. It has a poisonous effect on our names. It actually has a reverse effect. At least they're chanting, but what are they hearing? What are they chanting? You can chant, Bahura, you know this verse, Bahu Janma Kariyadi Shravan. They can chant the holy name for millions of births, they still won't get love of God. So ultimately, we have to see if the mantra is coming from a proper disciplic succession or not. If you want to know about this more, my dear mother, you can find it in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 16. Is this it? Okay, I'll post some verses on there. Anything else?
What does it mean to not be shy in understanding like Guru Parampara?
It means that we should not shy away from what they're teaching us. Not shy away from their teaching. Not shy away from presenting what was taught to us. That's what it means. Don't be shy in understanding Siddhanta. Don't be lazy, sorry. The right translation, don't be lazy in understanding the Guru Parampara. Don't be lazy in understanding the teachings of the spiritual master or the previous acharyas.
And so in understanding the previous acharyas, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we hear a lot about him. All the previous acharyas are great, but when is it appropriate to actually like read their books, or is it appropriate to
when
read
it
their
is
books?
certainly appropriate to read their books. Why did they write the books? Otherwise, we should read them. But first, we should read all of Prabhupada's books at least a few times. At least 3-4 times. Have a good understanding. Surrender. Do some proper, like some palpable devotional service. And then, you can read at that time. But immediately, there's no need for doing any of this. Sahajas will say, oh, just read Jaiva Dharma or just read this. First, read Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada gave everything in his books. Read Prabhupada's books. Read the Bhagavatam 3 times, Chaitanya Charitamrita 3 times. Read all of Srila Prabhupada's books at least 3 times, if not more, and then you go. Is that okay? I hope it is, because if you'll have any more questions, please read chapter 10 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, and the answer and the question. And the title of this chapter is Srimad Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. Okay, so Jai Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.